It's crazy for me to think that 10 years have passed since I made this YouTube channel. So much has changed from when I started the channel years ago. So we're gonna split it into eras because so many parts of my channel are so different from what they used to be that it basically almost feels like it's a different channel entirely back in the day. So let's start from the very beginning. I'll call this era the rough early years. I never really found a format for my content back then. I just chucked crap out and hoped it would stick. It was kind of a magical little era that yielded so many random ideas. I did a lot of cringy Minecraft videos and some meme videos back in the day. I literally made 40 Minecraft playthroughs. We're gonna skip that stuff because it's pretty boring in terms of content. And my first and most embarrassing video I did was called Meme Protection. In this video I talked about memes that were relevant at the time, and I still wish they were because they're funnier than today's memes. But for some reason I thought Deadmau5 and Pac-Man were memes at the time, and they weren't. Then YouTube had the gall to give me an option to correct the lighting of the video, and it made it worse. So you could barely see anything at certain points in the video. And then I started to do this repetitive joke where I typed in text documents with the word kill and then the meme character's name. I literally beat the joke into the ground 5 times. Then I obviously sent an email to the creator of memes, right? It's totally legit. It's not fake at all. Honestly, the best part of the video was when I got the Ouija virus. It was literally the only clever part of the entire thing. Most of it was pretty repetitive and boring and just dumb. Then I did Stupid News, which I think is pretty funny, surprisingly, for the time, and definitely holds up better than the last video, that's for sure. It was a ridiculous parody of Odd News, an old news segment from some news channel that I don't remember. I also did the first Seth Buskus Adventures, which was pretty much a crappy self-insert of myself into a balloon shop video, but we'll give those absolute gems their own video at a later date. Unfortunately, there is this huge gap where I just made a bunch of Minecraft videos for years, which was pretty boring. Then I finally did another skit called Deadline, which was a funny video where I played a Nintendo executive who gets thunderbolted by a Pikachu. For some reason I brought up Metroid like it was a good game even though I hate the series. Then I finally started to do informational videos, which slowly became the main point of my channel. I compared Mark Webb and Sam Raimi's versions of Spider-Man, and I actually judged them pretty fairly, surprisingly. I then did a video called The Worst Movies of All Time, where I trashed Batman and Robin, Frankenweenie, Pocahontas, Wizard of Oz, and Alice in Wonderland. And it was an okay video, but it's not one of my better ones. Then I promised something in the Year of the Buskus video. And whatever I promised something back then, you can be sure I didn't deliver on it. I said I was going to make a ton of videos like playthroughs of multiple games that I really didn't end up fulfilling. I also promised to make cringy machinimas about Zelda and Spider-Man. I recorded almost every single video with an easy 105 camcorder, even though the audio sounded like it was recorded on a potato. Halo 2 Anniversary Hints was kind of the first signs of the next era because I dropped that silly voice I would do every video. The Pokemon impression video was so freaking embarrassing. I refuse to relive that memory. Most of the impressions were terrible and too high-pitched. The only ones I liked were Squirtle, Dodrio, and Charmander. The Ruby and Sapphire remake video was right when the Hoenn hype was so strong, and it's still my favorite Pokemon region of all time. Also, I really liked the video because I provided some actual good information. It also did the best out of all my early videos view-wise. Alas, we finally come to the end of this era. I know, you're sad, you want to see more cringe, but unfortunately we gotta get past this terrible era. For my own sanity's sake at least. The Halo 2 beta video was the beginning of what I like to call the niche era. I finally found a format for my channel, Informational videos have been my main content since then. The Halo 2 video was great because it covered so much interesting content, and the funny part is, I was sick when I made it, like I am now. I honestly still wish 343 would put those cut levels into the MCC, but sadly it didn't happen. Probably because they didn't have the data for it. Then the Ruby and Sapphire beta video happened, which was also another great video that I'm really proud of. Then I did a video where I talked about me becoming an anime fan. It was sort of a cringy video that almost felt like it belonged in the era beforehand. And I talked about Darker Than Black, which I haven't watched in years. And Chromachellos Regis, which I didn't even watch that many episodes of, like I only watched 3. I also talked about Cosmo Stigma, which I still think is a great anime, and I don't remember if I covered Legend of the Legendary Heroes, which was an awesome anime, but the sad part is it only had 6 episodes because Japan wasn't really a fan of it. That was the day I discovered why so many anime doesn't have many episodes. Usually they get cancelled early because of low ratings in Japan. Then I literally copied an idea from another channel, but with my own spin on it with the Lavender Town video. But it was a pretty good video all in all, despite that. Then the remake for Orus was finally announced and I had to make a video about it. It was also a decent video in its own right. Then I did a skit called Hot Anime Button, which held up the best out of all my skits, and I thought it was pretty funny. Fast forward to some pretty good videos like Majora's Mask 3D and top 5 creepiest video game locations, and we're almost done with this era. I made Spartans, which was a humorous comedy series that was sort of based off of Red vs. Blue. And I also plan on making a 3rd video this year. I kind of want to revive this series since it's been gone for so freaking long. I then did a Spider-Man 3 review, and I still agree with it to this day. I mean, the movie was definitely rough, but it turned out enjoyable for me, especially when I was a kid. I liked the fight scenes and such, but minus that, it's still definitely a rough movie. Holy crap, my voice was high-pitched in that video, though. I sounded like a freaking squeaker. Now, 2016 starts a new era I'd like to call the Golden Age. I was uploading really good content that's a lot like the stuff I do now. The development of Minecraft videos, Sonic Voice Compare, and the rest were really well done videos. The Old Chateau Theory video was also great and I enjoyed it. It had some actual fan theories that I decided to debunk. I also really liked the Diamond and Pearl remake video. I thought it was great. I hope they finally get voice acting in Pokemon still to this day, at least in video game form. It would just make the story so much better. Also, please add Mega Evolutions for every legendary and starter in that game, Game Freak. The Mickey Mouse video was a huge hit that I didn't even predict, and I remember really enjoying making it. That's why I'm going to try to put a spotlight on some more obscure games. I still agree with my opinions on the Battlefront 2 video, but alas, the game was killed by EA too early. So now let's talk about the future of this channel. So, I'm definitely going to try to upload videos more consistently now. I've been blessed by God to have the fan base that I've got, but I want to talk about Pokemon since I barely talk about it on the channel anymore. I also want to talk about Star Wars on my not really new Star Wars channel. Zelda also needs some videos, because I've never really talked about them, except on one video. Plus I want to talk about the Jimmy Neutron PC game that I grew up with too. There's a lot of new videos to cover and I'm still thinking of ideas. So that's the end of the video, and it was good to see how far this channel has come from the start.